This is Regarding Bond, a podcast where fans, like you, are invited to join discussions about James Bond movies and books. There aren't any main hosts, because I will just be playing MC and giving intros so everyone knows what's going on. Beyond that, the mic belongs to you. And since it's not recorded live, you can record anytime you like. You'll be able to go to a web page, listen to what other people have already said, and you can respond to them. And then I'll put it all together into a podcast. At the end of this episode, I'll tell you how to take part. But now, let's just jump in with the first Bond origin story by Blake from Bond Life Chicago.
Hi everyone, it's Blake with Bond Life Chicago, and I'm happy to be here. My first encounter, or my first memory, I guess I would say, of James Bond would be going to the movie theater with my dad to see GoldenEye in theater when it was originally released. I'm sure I watched James Bond movies with my dad before going to the theater that time to watch GoldenEye, but that's really my first distinct memory of going and seeing James Bond. And really from there, my fandom and my love for James Bond just grew as growing up watching James Bond movies with my dad, whether they were on TV or VHS in the theaters. And then, of course, playing the iconic GoldenEye video game and things like that with my friends. And it just grew from there. He coached all my sports teams. We like all the same movies. We have a lot of similar interests. We're basically best friends. And like I said, he took me to see GoldenEye. He took me to see all the James Bond movies when I was growing up. We're very close. We would watch them when we had free time on the weekends or at night. And just kind of from there, whether it was cowboy movies, James Bond movies. But that's where my main love and my main interest of James Bond came from. My dad was the one that introduced me to it, and he's a big fan, and we still go to the movies when they get released to this day. Have I had an experience that could have been like a Bond movie or Bond scene? For me, I think my answer is probably a little bit different than most other people. Working in law enforcement, obviously I get the opportunity to, quote unquote, fight bad guys, arrest bad guys, chase bad guys, things like that. And an easy cop out would be, I guess, say something like that from work. And there are times where I feel like there is a minor connection or a minor draw to that, or I can find the similarities between that, and I find joy in that. But realistically, I'm not trying to chase down or capture any huge worldwide villains and things like that. I was a part of a rescue where we actually rescued an elderly person from their burning house. I'd say that that's pretty cool. That's pretty similar to something that James Bond definitely could do in a movie, saving somebody from a burning fire of some sort. Other than that, I've gone to several James Bond locations recently. I've had the pleasure of doing that. And the main one that really sticks out to me, where I really felt like I was in a James Bond movie, was when I and my girlfriend went to the Ocean Club, and we were going there just to have a drink where James Bond has a drink in Casino Royale in the Bahamas. And the really nice part about that's a hotel that's way beyond our limits, way beyond my financial means to ever stay in, but they treated us like we were royalty there. Very nice, very friendly, and on top of being able to have a drink where James Bond had a drink, the staff allowed us to walk around the lobby, the resort, take pictures where James Bond was, do that whole thing, and the bartender was very friendly. That was really cool, and it felt like I was in a Bond scene for sure. The things that still keep me interested in James Bond, I mean, I love the movies. I go back and I watch many of the movies on a regular basis. That's just things that I really enjoy, so I like to watch them, even if it's just background noise at a certain point. But really, especially because we're without a movie now for some time, the main thing that keeps me interested would be just the community and the connections and the friendships that I've made over the past couple of years on social media, and just friends across the world that I never would have thought I would have had or made if I hadn't started my James Bond related Instagram page. really, other than that, it's just kind of like my own experiences at this point. I like the fashion. I like that type of stuff throughout the James Bond world. Not as so much the exact brands, but just dressing the part when I have the chance to, getting nice and dressed up, suited, things like that, and really just traveling when I have time to. I really have enjoyed going to locations that are either finding locations from specific Bond movies or going places that are just beautiful, adventurous places that maybe James Bond would go to. And that's kind of, again, without a movie, that's what I've been really kind of attaching myself to stay interested in it, having fun, and really just through the mindset of James Bond, exploring the world and experiencing new things and different things that I never thought I would have been able to experience or never thought I would have had the courage to experience otherwise. And that's really how I've been staying attached and interested in James Bond over the years.
Thanks to Blake for being the first to send in his story. The first topic for open discussion is going to be about the character of Dr. Holly Goodhead, female astronauts, and the Cold War space race. I've written an article about that, which you can read first. Secondly, there's a series I'm calling Bond Origins, which is what you just heard from Blake. And if you want to record your story, then you just contact me. Send me an email to podcast@regardingbond.com. To get the articles and know what the next discussion is about, sign up for the newsletter at regardingbond.com.